Hello, my name is Suzie Birchwood. Welcome to The Pointe, our very first episode of the podcast about dance and disability. Today's podcast is with Darius and Amy, who are artistic directors of Ballet Cymru. I've asked them a little bit about what makes them so committed to equity and diversity in the ballet world, what makes them just a little bit different from most ballet companies, and where that ethos came from. Hello. So I'm joined today by the lovely Darius and Amy, artistic directors of Ballet Cymru. And this is part of my DYCP application for the Arts Council, where I get to come and work with companies that I've got a really great relationship with. And we get to develop universal design in practice. And in this instance, we are developing universal design to become a demanding and fast-paced and replicable class that can come out not just for a workshop here and there, but every day. And we're working together on
that really meets the needs of our dancers.
Every dancer in the room. So I managed to persuade you. Thank you very much for allowing me to interview here, Darius.
It's lovely to see you. I'd do anything for you. You know that.
Well, thank you so much. Well, funnily enough, as you say that,
My first question.
But what I really wanted to draw out was why you have this absolute drive and passion to work in a really equitable and diverse ways. When you are from a very traditional ballet background. You're from the Royal Ballet School.
Yeah.
Royal Ballet Company.
Not the Royal Ballet Company. Northern
Ballet. Sorry.
Yeah, Northern Ballet.
And so you've come through this very traditional route. And then you took over Ballet Cymru from your mother.
Well, no, that was I founded it.
You founded it?
Yeah, 39 years ago. Yeah,
39.
Right, when I had hair, I founded Ballet Cymru a long time ago.
Okay,
yeah.
So we'll do that little bit again.
Okay.
So 39 years ago, you founded Ballet Cymru.
That's right, yeah.
And from the outset, were you committed to doing things differently?
Yeah, I don't think we realised we were, because that was before Amy as well, because Amy joined about...
I joined in 96.
96, and we started the company in 86, so 10 years later.
10 years before.
It was just something that came very naturally. I think starting in that ballet environment, that very restrictive ballet environment, taught me a lot of what we don't want to do and what I felt was unfair. And now I think it's not being inclusive, but then it just seemed the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do because as part of my choreography, I think part of our choreography and the way we work with dancers as well, we've always loved working one-on-one with people. And, in ballet, there's always this, you're too tall, you're too small, it's not the right look, you're whatever, you don't fit that part. We've never worked like that, have we? I mean, we try and look for a spark in an individual, a creative spark. Or something special, something different, and of course the willingness to work really hard.
Yeah.
Above that, we work, and we the most wonderful people we work with, like yourself. It's just something that came naturally to us. I think as a company, and I'm really glad that we've kind of formalized it a bit more. We're moving forward, but to me, it goes back to again, let me go back on. Am I waffling a bit here?
No, not at all.
British Ballet. I grew up in that environment of British Ballet. When I was at school, I saw Kenneth McMillan's Myling on stage, the dress rehearsal with David. But I was really kind of immersed in that history of people like Robert Helpman, Damien Letterval, Frederick Ashton. Now, these people probably wouldn't get jobs today. Because they wouldn't be seen as being tall enough or thin enough or whatever enough. But they were wonderful artists, and this is what ballet evolved from in Britain. So I looked at those people and people like Robert Helpman, the child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. My kids still love that movie. What a wonderful artist. And to me, that's much more important than what you look like and what is perceived to be the perfect ballet dancer or whatever. That what felt important to me was telling those stories with people who really wanted to help us and then became diverse. again, going way back then, Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. You know, those Shakespeare characters, they're all different backgrounds, and you know, you don't have a Shakespeare type, do you? And then you have a kind of a ballet
Absolutely.
type. So for me, you know, I love theatre, and yeah, I think all those things just mushed up. But to be honest, it hasn't been something that we've kind of sat together and gone, oh yes, let's do this. It's just what we do, isn't it? It's just how we've kind of evolved.
Evolution of the basis of the company, isn't it? And I think the fact that we're not bound by doing those traditional ballets as well really helps. So I think people have a certain aesthetic in mind when they go and see a Swan Lake or a Nutcracker. And I think the fact that we don't do that kind of repertoire, it feels really easy for us that we can have a wider range of dancers. We reimagine the work. And I think that love of Shakespeare and the wide range of characters he uses, we do a lot of Shakespeare ballet. So I think it really lends itself well to having diverse dancers in the company.
Well, I think you hit upon a really important point there, which is that you tell stories. And I don't think that that's always the case in ballet or with a codified method. It's often the onus is on the technicalities, is on the precision, on the acrobatics of it. And you want to tell stories, and you do that by individualizing movement and by bringing out something.
And it's not always stories that are maybe identifiable. You know, we do short pieces, but really it's about the story of that human being and that person, isn't it? And how they move, and you're telling that kind of story.
But you look at something like Pavlova doing Dying Swan. I mean, she really isn't dancing a lot. She's screwing around on point, but it's the feeling and it's the emotion. So.
And look how many people that moved. I mean, you know, that 100 years later,
it's not about the high legs or the tricks or the turns. It's about feeling. And I think you've always been driven more by the heart of things rather than the technique of someone, I think.
Well, also, you know, you say about that, but it's quite a modern thing, all the high legs and the physicality of it. As I said, you know, Royal Ballet, the first 50 years, you know, until Nureyev came across and then highlighted the physicality, and then it became all about that. But I don't think that's our history in the UK. More so in Russia. You know, in Russia, they got the big companies, it's much more physical, bigger stages. But in Britain, it's always been much smaller, much more intimate, and about telling stories, I think. So to me, we're just taking that history on.
And I remember you saying years ago, it really captured me when you were talking about the history of ballet, that you said, actually, ballet has to progress. If ballet hadn't progressed, we would still be in the courts, you know, because and it has to. And this is the evolution. This is the progression, isn't it?
I believe so. I mean, you know, that we live in a very, very different world than we did 100 years ago, 10 years ago.
We do.
You know, as a company, Ballet Cymru have government funding, you know, and we're very grateful to that, but we feel a great onus on us to do things properly and for the greater good, we're a registered charity as well. You know, we shouldn't be making excuses because we're a ballet company that we have to do things this way because it's always been done this way. We should be doing things right, you know, and we're being paid to do that, if you like. And we're lucky. We're so lucky to be directors, and the dancers so lucky to be dancers. You know, why not do things the right way?
I think that's awesome. And I think something that I've always been very struck by for you, with you guys particularly, is that you will shape things you will bring somebody in, and then you will just shape a community around that person, and you'll learn with your dancers. You'll go on a journey with people, and I do think that's a rare find, a rare thing. You're not afraid to take risks. You take risks with your dancers. You also take some risks with your choreographers. You have a really diverse portfolio of choreographers working with you, don't you?
Yeah, I think we're lucky too, because we're not in a big company, and we haven't got a board of directors going, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't make the right decisions all the time. We make time. I mean, Amy does make right decisions all the time.
Obviously, Amy is perfect. You know, come on now.
But personally speaking myself, you know,
Can we record that?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
But a lot of my decisions, you know, they don't work. But that's when you learn.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you learn. And I think that's what we do. We just try things out and see what they're like and learn from those mistakes or learn from the successes. And it's a lovely success. And just go on, move forward from there. But I think building what we built here in Wales is brilliant, because we don't have those pressures that come to fill. Well, we do pressures. There are lots of pressures on us, but not quite so much as being the big company with an established board of directors who, to be honest, and when you get to that level, don't really understand dancers' life, and when you go to people and say, especially about disabilities and ballet, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. And a lot of people working in the industry don't get it in the ballet world. But the people who are running it high up, they think you're crazy.
This is what seeing is believing, isn't it?
It is.
They have to see it to understand how that works, I think.
Yeah. Even then, it's how many years? It's hard, isn't it?
And you're really driven at the moment, but you already have a very diverse company. You have very diverse bodies and people from very diverse backgrounds within your company, and lots of different access needs, as there is in any company. You are really driven by ensuring that you have a visibly disabled dancer with you, because you are excited about using those tools that you have as a company, aren't you? And that you know how well that can work.
As well for choreography, the possibilities to work with it. And again, it's really just bringing the best out of those dancers and finding different ways to move. And we're lucky. We have some really nice dancers now, don't we?
I think a big thing with that comes like the audience and their expectations around what they think they're going to see when they go to see a ballet. And if somebody's coming to see our ballet for the first time and they see a visibly disabled dancer in the cast, that's normal to them. So we're sort of trying to shift and poke the bear, if you like, and go, well, does ballet have to look like it's always been done by this one particular type of dancer? So I think for us, we work with loads of different communities. We talk to lots of different areas, and we think it's really important that our company represents the people that we see in the world around us, particularly in these horrible times of Brexit and Trump and push it. We're really trying to push against that, and just to sort of showcase that our environment is richer when we have different people working with us and we learn different cultures.
And for me, it's about the kids as well. The kids who come to a ballet and see our company think that's normal. And so they will take that forward
themselves in there,
and maybe some of the older people, they put their nose up and say it's not proper ballet or whatever like that. But cares, honestly, it's set in their ways.
What is proper ballet? What is art? What is artistry?
Exactly.
How is one person able to make comment on that?
But if we can get through to the kids, I think that's and that's my probably most proudest moment ever is when we do that and they come to see a work that we're really proud of with dancers who are really diverse, and they go away and nobody comments on it, and I'm like, that's fantastic, because that's what ballet is.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking about Stuck in the Mud, which was Stuck in the Mud was a beautiful piece that we did. It was yourselves and G Dance and Mark Brew. Choreographer was beautiful choreography by Mark Brew.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that was 2013, and we were touring to National Trust properties, and you brought on 3 disabled dancers into the company, myself and Alice Shepherd and Corinne Stanbrook. And we had an absolute ball. It was brilliant.
That
we
was
loved
fantastic,
it.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And you also had the additional level in terms of access of approaching National Trust properties and outdoor properties. So we toured this piece to all sorts of places. We went to Newport Market.
We did. I love that.
We went outside, didn't we?
Llandudno.
Garden.
We did.
Llandudno, all around Llandudno on the pier and the station. Remember?
Friars, was that an abbey or a Friars?
The Blackfriars Abbey. It was in Gloucester.
Yeah, that's right.
That was absolutely gorgeous. So you had all of these kind of major challenges, and of course we're working in partnership with G Dance as well. Incredibly ambitious, and it was really from that project, from Stuck in the Mud. I keep wanting to say Dance Unstuck. It was from Stuck in the Mud that Dance Unstuck came from. So should we just talk a little bit about what Dance Unstuck is and how that originated for you guys?
I mean, for us, it was really enlightening to work with you, Alice and Kieran. I think we'd always had this idea of ballet being inclusive, but I think that project really represented the first time that we did that properly with a fully integrated cast. Hugely exciting, just opened up so many ideas and possibilities. But it also highlighted a gap in a way of how do dancers get to that professional level when the kind of the traditional ballet training route is not to them. And so I think Dance Unstuck really stemmed from that idea of like, okay, well, if we want to see more professional disabled ballet dance, how do they get there? They don't just magically appear. You know, there needs to be systems and training in place. And so, of course, the wonderful Jörg, and looking at the methodology and the sort of the closed language and, in a way, exam criteria. It was quite a deep dive, wasn't it?
It was a very deep dive over a number of years.
Yeah. How do we really open this up wider? How do we educate people? How do teachers know how to train people that come in various different access needs? And it was an amazing project. But for us, it's like the beginning of something really exciting. And it's how we take that forward then and look at that, how it works from somebody's first access into ballet and all the way up to professional level. That excites us.
Well, that's the thing, and it is developing, from my point of view, the company developing as professionals, so that we can actually work with them, because it's so closed off for kids. I was talking to you earlier about going into schools and outreach, and that we still get to schools and any disabled kids, they put in the back room, so you can't. Yeah, it's still happening today, and it's so depressing. So all those things we can keep pushing. But just demonstrating what can be done, I think, is important, and it's our duty to do that.
And that's right, is the visibility, isn't it? We need visibility, and we're in a very privileged position in that what we do for our jobs can create huge visibility and very, very far-reaching. So we are able to impact in terms of really getting the understanding out there that there is huge creative opportunity in working with disabled dancers, and that there is a methodology, there are clear progression routes which can be put in place to ensure that you are able to find those commonalities between dancers, that we don't lose anything in ballet by progressing ballet, but in fact we improve it, we increase that quality. We've got dancers who are hugely creative, who have advocacy over the way that they work. And we have diverse bodies, we have diverse dancers and dancers that can work longer. So with universal design, we're creating strong dancers that can work through pregnancy, post-pregnancy, into older age. And at the moment, you get to 30 and dancers start to think, that's probably come to the end of my career now.
Because their bodies change. And of course, so this is why this method, universal design, it's hugely exciting. It really does extend the lifespan of a dancer.
Yes.
And in a really safe way, but can still push them and challenge them. So this is why you coming here is amazing for us, because I think we are still on that journey. And I think you coming in with this extra knowledge is going to really help us try and take that work further. Hopefully.
Well, that's my hope. My hope is that we had a conversation the last time I was up that was it was a really valuable conversation, because the point came up that actually what you need to keep your dancers safe is to be able to get on stage and warm everybody up to the point where they are ready for that show. And actually, that responsibility essentially lies completely on your shoulders. You have got to do it, otherwise you've got injured dancers. And there is a job to be done to look at how you do that, so that every dancer, you're able to offer parity of feedback. The dancers are able to find, increase the level of complexity class by class by class, and that exactly what direction that's going. So that's really what created this project. My Develop Your Creative Practice project. It was thinking there is so much more work to be done.
In this
area.
I don't think we'll find all the answers, but it's great to be asking us questions, isn't it?
I think you're right in just finding some of them. I think it's definitely it's building on that, isn't it? And sort of understanding what we don't know and how do we
totally
what we do know.
Because it is really tricky. It's really hard.
In a professional level ballet class, it's pretty high octane, like an hour and a half, and there's so many different steps that we need to, or so many different moves we need to go through to prepare the body ready for the choreography of the evening. And so that's what feels really exciting. It's like, how do we get that with universal design? And I'm so optimistic, and I know there's a way. It's just us spending that time to really try and discover how we do that. It's going to happen.
Yes.
I'm very, very excited. And what my plan is that tomorrow is Tuesday, and I'm going to be leading class with the company and with the pre-professionals. So I'm going to introduce a couple of concepts around how we find our way into Petit Allegro
Yes.
and do a little bit of grand allegro, of course, introduce the bar and how we find our plie, how we negotiate all of these different articulations, which are essential to then be able to come into the center and build our integrity as dancers and our strength and stamina. And then Wednesday will really be about adding the complexity.
Nice.
So in universal design, we have the social construct, which is me, you, us. So the Tuesday will really be about looking at the me, possibly touching on the you. And then the Wednesday will be touching on we'll be really delving deeply into the you and the us. And that the me, the you is sharing our material to increase the material that we have, to increase the challenges that we set ourselves. And then the us is finding those commonalities and be able to shape this this exercise, this particular part of the class, so that we can really recognize this as having that balletic quality, really being true to the ballet form, and how you recognize that and are able to give feedback.
Amazing.
So that's what we're going to be doing.
I'd love this to be the start of something as well.
Absolutely.
I said we're not going. We are going to get loads of answers, and we're going to be not great, but let's keep going with it.
There'll be another level.
Let's do it. Let's do another project and be more visible and that's what.
And another stuck in the mud.
Yeah, well,
can we do that, Darius?
I would love to. Yeah, it feels a long time, and not enough has happened. I know we've had COVID and all that stuff, and that kind of set the whole world back about 10 years. But it feels about time that we kick some people and some ideas and some.
We do still get people that talk to us about Stuck in the Mud that happened 10 years ago. It resonated. It
had an impact.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. It was
to be honest, Arts Council had up in their offices before they abandoned them last year, a picture of Crystal, who's working with the dancers back here, Stuck in the Mud, up in their office for years and years and years. And it came down last year, I think. So there you go.
But it was also reaching people that might not step foot into a theatre. So it was also looking at where those spaces were that really generated just new, fresh interest in Stuck in the Mud. It was an amazing project, all the community involvement as well.
Yeah,
it was nothing but positive. And then that fantastic legacy of Dance Unstuck, which we're still building on. So I think it's important that we keep, as I said before, seeing is believing. If you say to somebody, that they're a wheelchair user and they're a ballet dancer, they don't understand what that looks like. They have to see it. And I think, it's incredible. We need more Stuck in the Mud, that's for sure.
And you're right. I think to be finding your way across numerous boundaries, that's how we reach collective liberation.
Yeah.
And until we reach that collective liberation, nobody is free.
Yeah.
So we need to find those ways to break down the barriers to reach people that don't normally have access. Economical access, logistical aspect to be able to get into those theatres and watch ballet. There are so many barriers, aren't there? So many hierarchical structures that prevent ballet being accessible to a wider audience.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we've come on leaps and bounds the last couple of years are outdoor work. We do a lot of outdoor work now. We've done a lot of festivals. We did Green Man Festival, didn't we? In between the Trees Festival, we did Wrexham Festival. We did Stedford this year. So we're doing a lot more outdoor stuff. So and it feeds back to our time doing Stuck in the Mud when we were out there with the National Trust. We're working with the National Trust every year. We do our big show, which was Giselle this year. We're doing 2 National Trust properties, so we're still working with them.
So there's a real legacy there.
There's tons of legacies for that. And I think we just need to take it forward now, don't we? Really, and then combine the two again. And we're so lucky to have Mark Brew down last year. Another piece for us as well. So it feels like we're kind of building momentum now with you as well. It'd be nice if this was the start of something with a lasting legacy.
I think that's a wonderful place to end, actually. Thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been a revelation, I'm going to call it. Really, really good. So thank you. And I'm so excited about the next couple of days.
And thank you for coming and including us in this really important work that you're doing. I'm so delighted you're here.
Yeah, we love having you.
That's
It's great to see you.